overseas is being felt here in our region. We've heard from one man on Tyne's side who is fearing for the lives of his parents in Tehran.
Aslan managed to speak to his family earlier today, but contact is limited. Internet access in Iran has been intermittent since tensions rose regarding regime change last year.
He told Tom Barton that he does feel conflicted over what this means for the future of his home country.
It's a nightmare. You know, it's just nightmare with hope.
Watching from Wall's End, Aslan has spent the last few days following events nearly 3,000 miles away as bombs have been dropping on Iran. His family still live in Tehran, where many American and Israeli attacks have hit. But the chance the war could hasten the end of a murderous regime means he welcomes the bombs.
No one wants their country to be attacked, but millions of Iranian people, we were happy, you know, and it's very strange feeling, you know. You're waiting for that, and you have hope that because in this situation, we really need foreign help.
Before he left Iran 7 years ago, Aslan was the drummer and singer in a rock band. Leaving with his wife and son in the face of religious persecution, he's now seeking asylum in the UK. Over the weekend, when bombs started dropping across Iran, how difficult was that for you, knowing that your family was still there?
Their bombing is very accurate, and their target is just government, not the people. You know, but war is war. You know, you never know that bombs might be a mistake or something. So this is obvious. But yeah, we have contact. We're so worried about our family, our friends in Iran. But we kind of give it trust, you know, because we need it really in these circumstances.
And how difficult has it been staying in touch with your family at home?
We have contact with our family, but barely, because now at the moment there is no internet in Iran, but they can contact barely from some phone lines, some complex things. I don't know exactly how, but barely they can contact us, and the last one was exactly today, and so far they're okay.
As the war appears to escalate, those worries about the safety of Aslan's family will continue. But so will the hope that they could soon live in a free Iran.
Tom joins us now, and Tom, there will be many of our viewers who are fearing and extremely concerned for the safety of their loved ones in many places in the Middle East.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, there's those like Aslan who are from Iran, but who have family who are still there. Official figures suggest there's around 40,000 Iranians living in the UK. About 2,000 of those are estimated to be here in the northeast. But there are, of course, a significant number of UK citizens living and working in the Middle East. The government today said that they estimate that's around 300,000 people, British people in the region. 130,000 of those have registered with the Foreign Office for their update and advice service. Now, some of those will be British residents living in the Middle East. Others will, of course, be holidaymakers. And while the first flights back to Britain did leave the Middle East last night, flights haven't yet resumed here to the northeast, to Newcastle Airport, where there's a regular link. But travellers from this region have returned both to Heathrow and to Manchester airports.
It is bad now. Obviously, there's been a few more attacks this morning when we left. Our flight managed to get away, and then they closed the airspace again. So obviously, my dad and his partner still stuck over there. So they wouldn't let them on the flight. The flight was only half full. He's been messaged to be on the plane on the way back there, saying it's like drone strikes on the UAE oil refinery and stuff. So it's all panic setting in. Obviously, my dad's like 6-year-old and his partner. So like I said, they're stuck there now.
It was a surreal experience, something like I've never gone through before, it almost felt like we were in a film, didn't it? It was terrifying. And I think what we were seeing from the media as well, it fed into kind of our fear, but I think on social media as well, a lot of people thought it wasn't as bad as what it actually was. Honestly, to be there, it was petrifying. It was terrifying.
So we flew out of Newcastle, we tried to get a flight back in, there was no flight, so we just closest one we could get, just to get back on English soil. And here we are, so we have to make our way back, but I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that.
Now, we've had lots of viewers getting in touch who have friends or family still in the region. If somebody's on holiday there, then their airline should be in a position to provide some assistance. Well, for both travellers and people who are living in the Middle East, the UK government website has plenty of advice and information.
It is important information, Tom. Thank you very much indeed.
Well, the potential effects of that conflict on the economy and prices here in the UK were recognised by the government today.
In her spring statement, the Chancellor pledged to tackle the cost of living. But for people we spoke to in Northumberland today, that still feels like an uphill battle. With more, here's our political correspondent Tom Sheldrick.
Nowadays, the global economy has an impact just about everywhere, even on the market stalls in Hutchinson. Morgan's family have been selling all sorts here for 50 years, but she says they've had to put up prices to make a living.
It was only 2 years ago I was selling the likes of black bags, foil, £152, and now everything's pretty much double or more. Since COVID, pretty much not just food, everything's went up in price.
The Chancellor reiterated today that getting the cost of living under control is the government's top priority.
We promised change at the election, and I understand the responsibility on me to deliver that change. I know that the question that people will ask themselves at the next election is this: are me and my family better off? I am determined that the answer will be yes.
Back in Ashington, some say the government need to provide more support.
There should be a lot more, definitely. Yeah, I mean, I very rarely put my heating on now, you know, save as much money as I can.
Just help if people are struggling. Bills, if people can't pay them.
Ministers point to how they've frozen rail fares and prescription charges, and the household energy price cap will drop next month.
It'll help, but it's say they're cutting it off, but then in 3 or 4 months' time they'll just put it back on. So you have to keep saving for the winter, so you can pay your energy bills. That's what I'm doing.
And there are new concerns around fuel and energy prices rising due to the conflict in the Middle East. Brian runs this key-cutting business.
I filled my car up last night and I filled my van up last night, and I know for a fact it's going to go up. This country has got loads of oil, and it's liquid gold. There should be the Nigel Farage's got the best answer: open all oil fields.
The appeal of Reform UK and the Green Party present a growing challenge for this Labour government, as does a world that seems to be changing faster than ever.
And Tom joins us now from Westminster. Tom, what stood out to you then today from the spring statement?
Amy, it's been a strange day here, really. This was not a budget. The government have said they'll only make big announcements on taxes once a year to minimise speculation. So we've had none of that today, leading to opposition parties arguing it was a missed opportunity to take action. What we have seen are official forecasts suggesting a mixed picture in terms of economic growth over the next few years. And those forecasts were drawn up before the war in the Middle East started. The official watchdog, the budget watchdog, the OBR, warned today that conflict could have very significant impacts on our economy. The Chancellor, meanwhile, said she is monitoring the situation closely and working with key industries, but she admitted things are now more uncertain.
Okay, Tom, at Westminster for us this evening. Thank you very much for the latest there. And staying with your finances, and the Martin Lewis Money Show Live will follow the evening news tonight at 7:15. Here's Martin with the details.
Look, I know you don't want to think about it, but I'd love you to join me for our next show where we're going to be discussing wills, a crucial document to make life easier for your family, saving them hassle and cost when you die, and perhaps more importantly, power of attorney. If you lose your faculties, it gives someone the ability to be able to look after you when you can't. We'll be going through it in detail on the show. Join me then.
You're watching ITV News Time Teas. Still to come on tonight's programme.
On top form and near the top of the table, a well-deserved win for Borough.
We'll meet Luca, the dog, making his debut at Crufts, hoping to be best in class.
And a slice of beautiful clear skies across parts of the UK today. We benefited from that. Will it continue? I'll have your forecast later.
Next tonight, teachers say they are losing almost an hour and a half a day dealing with children that are not toilet trained when they start school.
One teacher ITV have spoken to said some children are having several accidents a day and the time spent changing them is costing valuable learning time. Amrit Birdie has been finding out more.
A toilet training seat and step-by-step instructions on how to use the loo. This isn't a nursery, it's a primary school, and teachers are spending hours in here every week.
It's not just the odd accident, it is a lot over the course of a day. The time we spend changing children obviously takes us away from the whole class of children, which can mean learning time, but also lost interactions with all children, because we know that positive interactions with children and modelled interactions with children make a really big difference on the child's speech and language development and communication.
The number of children starting school not toilet trained is on the rise. The latest school readiness survey found, in the North East, 36% of children are not toilet trained when they start reception.
For teachers, they're telling us they're losing 1.4 hours a day. That's the equivalent of a whole day of teaching time every week to the issue of toilet training. And of course, it's not just those children who have the sort of humiliating experience of having their nappies changed. It's also all the other children who are having their learning stopped.
Denise Keenan is a family nurse in Gateshead and says encouraging independence before school starts is vital.
If they're nappy free when they're going to school, they are supported with independence, with their confidence and their self-esteem, their emotional well-being, and they're able to focus on their education more. What we don't want is children having mishaps in school and then distracted from their learning.
It's thought that an increase in families with two working parents and the availability of more absorbent nappies could be reasons why many children are being toilet trained later. The government has launched Best Start family hubs to address the growing crisis.
Parents are doing their best, they're doing a brilliant job, and I think parents are really welcoming the support that we're offering through our Best Start hubs. It's about tackling inequality. We want to make sure every child starts on a level playing field so that every child can fulfil their potential in school.
Getting children school ready is described as a top priority, yet for thousands of teachers like Emma, there's no regaining the hours spent teaching in the toilets rather than in the classroom. Amrit Birdie, ITV News.
Now, returning to sport shortly, it is almost time for more athletic action when the torch will be lit on Friday to mark the start of the Winter Paralympic Games in Italy.
Yeah, the athletes will be displaying their incredible talents, and each of them will be competing with their own personal challenges to their abilities.
In order to get through the competition, technology and medical advances will play their part, as they do in the daily lives of many people living with disability. Hannah Ludlow reports.
Jo Mohan from Middlesbrough has multiple sclerosis. The condition meant she used to struggle to hold a hot drink due to mobility issues. That's no longer a problem for her though, since she was fitted with a medical device called a spinal cord stimulator.
100% it's taken the pain away from the areas that it was fit for, so my legs and my arms. I don't receive any pain in them limbs anymore because of the device. It's made a huge difference to my day-to-day life. I'm more present for my children because I'm not in pain all day, I'm not in pain and exhausted by the time they come home from work or college, so I'm there for them. I look after my grandchildren more as well now because of it.
Electrical devices are also used by athletes in competitions like the Paralympics. This medical trial is looking into how the technology can enhance sport performance.
Good pace, keep it going.
Like Joe, Barry is wearing a spinal cord stimulator. He became paralysed from the waist down after a cycling accident. Electric currents are activating his spinal cord and blood vessels, sending more oxygen to his muscles.
All of our participants so far have improved their time to exhaustion, so the amount of time that they could keep exercising for by a massive 35%. So if you put that into context of what Paralympic athletes might try and achieve to gain a competitive performance, they might be like 5%, something like that. When you consider the 35% change that these participants have had, that's a massive change.
Paralympic athletes are allowed to use the tech, but those running the trial say it could give competitors an unfair advantage by enhancing performance and improving fitness, challenging the spirit of fair competition, as devices can be very expensive, and undermining classification.
The sort of performance advantage that you can get would be equivalent to some of the more powerful prohibited substances. There's definite benefits, and we want athletes to have access to those, but at the same time we want to make sure that we have fair sport. So we would call on the IPC and the World Anti-Doping Agency to start looking at this so that they can have regulation in place as their use starts to increase, as I think no doubt it will.
The World Anti-Doping Agency says it hasn't seen enough evidence to suggest the technology can enhance sport performance, but that it does review products as they are developed. For people like Joe, these devices are life-changing. Their place in future Paralympic Games, however, is under question. Hannah Ludlow, ITV News.
We're looking forward to the Paralympics. We're moving on to sport now. Football. Middlesbrough back in the groove, Simon, in the Championship promotion race.
Yeah, the last fortnight hadn't been great, but last night's win at Birmingham City was much more like it. Not just a victory, but a very good victory against a decent team, and an important victory, because Borough had seen every single one of their promotion rivals win at the weekend. Birmingham had only lost once at home in the Championship this season, so there was every chance it was going to be a tough night for Borough, and the early indications were indeed that the home side would be a problem. But Middlesbrough had an unlikely solution in the form of on-loan defender Matt Targett. A change of formation last night freed him up to get forward more from wing-back, and he took full advantage of the wide-open spaces he found in front of him. In fact, Targett hit the target twice, the first time he's ever done that in his career, and while he's on loan from Newcastle, he also used to play for Birmingham's local rivals Aston Villa, so he enjoyed this.
The manager likes us running in behind and running close to the opponent. Massive 3 points for us. It's not the easiest place to come. But yeah, I thought the lads done a professional job and we got the 3 points.
Targett had Borough 2 up at half-time, but that wasn't the end of the story. Birmingham quickly pulled a goal back and the natives clearly felt the comeback was on. For a while, Borough's lead felt precarious. But these are the tests that have to be passed on the way to promotion, and Middlesbrough passed this test with flying colours thanks to a very good header from David Strelets. That was the game, 3-1 at the end in another memorable night on the road for Borough fans.
It's brilliant that we have given them so much joy on the away games. I think it's been like, I don't know if it's 5 or 6 wins now in quite a few games away. Yeah, it was a lot of things that was very, very good today and made me very, very happy.
Something about this feels positive. Kim Hellberg and his hellball tactics have been a hit with the fans, and the connection between supporters and players feels strong. There's still a long way to go, but it does look like everyone's going in the same direction.
So a great win, but there still is every chance, Simon, that automatic promotion is going to go down to the wire.
Yeah, it was a great win because it keeps Borough in control of that second automatic promotion place. You look at the top, I do think Coventry are probably going to end up winning the title, so everyone else is competing for one automatic promotion place and the playoff places. There's a big game tonight when Ipswich play Hull City, so the table will change slightly again. I've just got a feeling this might be one of those years where it goes right down to the wire. Last game of the season, possibly for automatics.
Let's wait and see.
Well, there's a full midweek round of Premier League fixtures over the next couple of days. Sunderland are away at Leeds United tonight. There's ancient history between these teams, of course, 1973 and all that, but the modern history is also relevant. Both were promoted last season and both teams have bucked the trend by doing pretty well in the Premier League this season.
They are well coached with a great atmosphere at Ellen Road. So they built over a few years, I think. So last season they were really strong, and it wasn't a surprise the outcome at the end of the season, and they kept going.
Newcastle United host in-form Manchester United tomorrow night, and the Magpies' week arguably gets tougher from there. After tomorrow's Premier League encounter, Newcastle have got Manchester City as home in the FA Cup on Saturday, then Barcelona at home in the Champions League a week tonight.
The games that we have, I think we have to try and be positive. We have to try and relish those games. We can't play with any fear. We can't play with the thought of we haven't won at home for a few games. We've just got to go and attack the games and be as positive we can be. Don't look back, let's look forward.
Non-stop fixtures, isn't it? Simon, thank you very much indeed. We'll probably see you tomorrow. Now, the countdown is on to Crufts, the world's biggest dog show. Tens of thousands of animals are being put through their final paces in the hope of being crowned best in their breed.
And one of those heading to Birmingham is Heather Benstead from Hutchinson in Northumberland. Her dog Luca is ready to strut his stuff on the green carpet. And as Johnny Blair reports, Crufts aside, she says her little Hungarian Pumi takes the top spot in her life.
Poise, shape, and great teeth. Just the kind of thing judges look for at Crufts, where Luca is heading.
So proud, like, there's no words for it. I can't believe we've qualified. Just to be able to go and stand on that green carpet is just joy in itself. If we come away with a place, then brilliant. But I'll be happy just standing up there beside him, knowing that he's in his best.
He qualified for Crufts at his first ever show on the first day he was old enough. Yet Luca has already been life-changing in many different ways.
I suffer from bipolar and I suffer particularly from depression. And it got to the stage where I wouldn't get out of bed, I wouldn't eat, I wouldn't leave the house. But Luca doesn't let any of that happen. Luca's very much an early morning riser. He gets up and he's like, right, Mum, it's time to be up. It's time for breakfast. Let's have breakfast. Let's go for a walk. And he's just brought so much joy.
Overseeing preparation is Sue. She runs a weekly dog training class which Heather attends. It has lots of success qualifying for Crufts, a group where animals are taught and friendships formed.
It's really about ringcraft for showing dogs, but also we have puppy socialisation. It's all about meeting people and get new people involved and just meet new friends. The dogs then can meet other dogs.
The world-famous dog show starts on the 5th of March in Birmingham. 4 days of judging to find the best specimens. Just being there is an achievement in itself. Preparation is almost over, but whatever happens at Crufts, in Heather's eyes, Luca is a winner already. Johnny Blair, ITV News.
If I was a judge at Crufts, I would be like, Luca, you are the winner. He's gorgeous.
The noises coming out of you during that.
It's like a little teddy bear.
He's got a distinctive look, like a koala bear we were saying.
Yeah, like a teddy bear as well. Good luck to Luca and Heather at Crufts.
Brilliant. Blue skies.
Yeah, that was something to smile about as well.
It was definitely something to smile about. It's been a while since we've seen such pure blue skies right across the region. Blue skies and red kites as well. Looking absolutely stunning here on the Derwent Walk in Gateshead. 12 degrees our top temperature today, light winds, perfect spring day, perfect for flying around here. And particularly after such a dull winter, we have earned today, I have to say that. Only 2 days have come close this year so far when it comes to amount of sunshine. And the lambs are out as well, another sure sign that spring is on the way. These filmed near Dunstanburgh this afternoon, just gambling around. We're now in a position where sunrise for much of the region is already before 7 a.m. Sunset is getting close to 6 p.m. And this month we had more sunshine than any other, about 4 minutes a day. I say sunshine, today it was sunshine, generally daylight. We're hoping for more sunshine in the forecast. Is there any? Well, let's take a look.
A heavy downpour will subside and light relaxation will set in. TUI sponsors ITV Tyne weather.
Of course, lots of blue skies for us today. This evening, clear skies will allow temperatures to dip down. Chilly initially, but cloud is increasing as we head into the early hours. With that, a little bit of patchy rain for some, but it clears through, sunny spells into tomorrow, and there's more fine weather to come as we head through the next few days. High pressure and control at the moment, keeping things nice and calm. There's the cloud arriving overnight into tomorrow. Later Thursday into the early hours of Friday, bit of patchy rain spreading its way in from the west. That is short-lived, and actually Friday itself, ridge of high pressure developing once again, plenty of sunshine as we end the week. For now, it is calm as we head through this evening, thanks to the clearer skies, the lighter breezes, bit of frost forming over the next few hours. But as the cloud increases, our temperatures begin to pick up. Into those early hours, we start the day at around 3 or 4 degrees. So yes, Wednesday morning, there's more in the way of cloud, where the cloud is thick enough, particularly towards Northumberland, a little bit of light and patchy rain. That disappears quite quickly. The wind's pushing that out of the way. A bit breezier than we've seen today, but the wind's from that southerly direction. Plenty of sunshine into the afternoon, and we're looking at highs of a mild 13 degrees. Now it's later on Wednesday, as we make our way through the day, we're going to see those clearer skies developing once again. Bit of mist and murk into Thursday morning. Cloud thickening overnight for a time, but still those brighter breaks. It's only gradually this rain is going to work its way in from the west, patchy by the time it reaches us. So actually, as we make our way through the next few days, not too bad at all. Yes, the cloud amounts will vary day on day, but there's plenty of sunshine to be had. Lots of that as we end the week. The rain crossing over overnight, so for daylight hours staying dry and bright, and generally temperatures holding up in double figures.
TUI sponsors ITV Tyne weather.
Thank you, Ross. There's your news, sports and weather. Next up, it's the national and international news.
I'm back here with a late update for you tonight at 10:30. Enjoy the rest of the evening. We will see you later. Thanks for watching. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.